Hello and welcome back to In the Kitchen with Matt. I am your host, Matt Taylor. Today, I'm going to show you how to make stuffing. Yummy, I love stuffing. Thanksgiving is in a few days, and you can't have Thanksgiving dinner without some stuffing. This stuffing recipe is like a classic recipe, really easy to do. If I can do it, you can do it. Let's get started. First, what we need to do is prep our bread. And you can use whatever kind of bread that you want. This is a French bread loaf, and it's a 1 pound loaf. And what I did is I cut it up in cubes or little chunks. And since this was fresh, I just bought this morning. What I needed to do is I needed to dry out the bread. If you have bread, you can just go ahead and lay it out overnight so it will get dry or stale. But if it was fresh, like this morning, what I did is I cut it up into cubes. And then I put it on a sheet pan. And then what I did is put the sheet pan in the oven at about 200 degrees Fahrenheit. And I just baked it for about 20 minutes and then rotated the pans for another 20 minutes, for about 40 minutes total. And that dried up the chunks for me. But if you have like stale bread laying around or a couple-day-old bread that's been sitting out, you can use that as well. It just needs to be nice and dry. All right, so we have our bread chunks here. Great. Go ahead and set that aside. And now what we need to do is we need to go over to our stovetop with a large skillet. And then we are going to add in our butter. That is 3/4 cup of butter. This is unsalted butter. You can use salted butter if you want. All right, so I have my stovetop heat set on medium. And we're gonna go ahead and just melt down our butter here. All right, now that our butter's melted down, we're gonna add in our celery. This is diced celery. It's about 1.5 cups. It doesn't have to be exact. And then we're also gonna add in our onion. This is a one large onion, a sweet onion, but you can use whatever onion you want. I used a yellow sweet onion. And then a few cloves of fresh garlic. And now what we want to do is we are going to cook down these ingredients, these vegetables, until they're a little bit soft. So we're going to sit here and let them cook, and we're going to stir them occasionally for about 10 to 15 minutes. All right, our onions and celery have cooked down a little bit. They're nice and soft. And now what we want to do is we want to start adding our spices. Even though I put some fresh garlic in there, I'm also going to add about a 1/2 teaspoon of garlic powder. I like a nice little garlic flavor. I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of salt. I'm not going to overdo the salt. Better to underdo it and have people add salt themselves. Teaspoon of ground pepper. And then I have a tablespoon of a mixed Italian spice seasoning. This is just oregano, thyme, rosemary, and sage. Now you can add those individually too if you have them fresh ingredients. Just chop them up and put them in there. There we go. Now let's go ahead and mix this all together. And you can add less or more of each of these individual ingredients. If you want more pepper, add in more pepper. If you want less pepper, add in less pepper. Up to you. Now let's go ahead and remove this from the heat. All right, here we go. I have a bigger bowl here. I'm gonna go ahead and add my breadcrumbs or my bread to it. I normally would just use this bowl, but I use the glass one because it looks nicer. All right, now once we have our bread in there, we'll go ahead and add our vegetables. Like so. And then we're also going to add in 1 cup of our 2 cups of our chicken broth. And you can use vegetable broth too if you like, if you don't want to use chicken broth. Now let's just go ahead and give this a good stir. And the bread is going to start to soak up that liquid. All right, I'm going to set this aside for a second. Okay, we take our other cup of chicken broth. And we'll add in our eggs to it. 2 eggs, and then with the whisk, little shout out to Story Kloppy. She gave me this whisk, sent it to me in the mail. Thank you so much, Story. We'll go ahead and just whisk this up with the eggs. Nice. Come back over to our stuffing. We'll add in this mixture. And then we'll go ahead and make sure it's all coated again. Some recipes don't call for eggs. So like if you're a vegetarian, go ahead and just leave the eggs out. Along with the chicken broth, use vegetable broth. Okay, once everything's all nice and coated like that, ready to go, what we want to do is we'll go ahead and take our 13 by 9 pan, and we grease it. We either spray it with kitchen spray, or you could use shortening or butter, whatever you want to do. Let's go ahead and get our stuffing all in there. Awesome, and let's just spread it out so it's nice and even. Preheat your oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit or 176 Celsius. And now what we're going to do is we're going to take our other 1/4 cup of butter, and let's just go ahead and cube it and put it on the top here. And now let's cover it with foil. And then we're gonna bake it at 350 degrees Fahrenheit for 40 minutes. Remove the foil and then bake it for another 40 to 45 minutes until the top edges and whatnot get a little bit golden brown. All right, on to that step, and then it'll be done. And when it comes out of the oven, it'll look like this. The very, very top parts will be nice and golden brown and crispy. Those are actually my favorite parts of the stuffing. All right. The stuffing is done, turned out fantastic. Really easy to do. If I can do it, you can do it. I'm Matt Taylor. This has been another episode of In the Kitchen with Matt. Thank you for joining me. As always, if you have any questions, comments, or requests, put them down below and I will get back to you as soon as I can. Thumbs up, down the corner, push it. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and check out my other videos. Take care. Time for me to dive into some of this. Oh yeah.